Bless up, everybody. I don't know. I am HINDZ, and today in hindsight, you are at the #1 chill spot on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for clicking on this video. I am feeling so good. I hope you are feeling amazing. It's like 33 degrees out here right now. And let me tell you, this is like my comfort heat. This is when I feel like I am truly home. My spirit is just buzzing. I was just doing some shopping with my daughter, went for lunch, and then we were driving and I noticed this track field on the side of the road. And I was like, oh my God, that field marks a very pivotal moment in my life. So I pull over. I tell my daughter, get out the car. We got to walk around this field. I want to like relive those memories. And I'm telling her about when I was in track and field and I was racing for the nationals. And it was the 400-meter race. And I was in first place, y'all. I was in first place at the 200-meter. I was dusting. I was dusting these other dudes. And then the next thing you know,
I was running, I was in first place, and then the next thing you know, I heard a loud pop. And I was like,
I feel something pop. And my right leg just automatically lunged my body off the track onto the grass. And I just laid there paralyzed. And ambulance had to come get me, carry me out on a stretcher. Basically, it's like my hip muscles pull. I don't know what happened, but a bunch of stuff dislocated. I had a long recovery. It was kind of like the end of me competitively playing sports. And it left me in a space just questioning what's next, because I really wanted to go to like maybe college or university, on like a sports degree or something like that, or a sponsorship, whatever you call them. And I was just lost, and I felt like I invested, my whole life into, being an athlete, that I just massively missed the mark, and now I had no direction. But that's when I started to discover a few more gifts. And I realized sometimes we miss, but there's so much power in that pivot. But before we really get into it, and I'm so thankful that you're here. Thank you. Let's nourish the channel with a sponsor, and then we'll be right back. So our sponsor of the day is ExpressVPN. They're a simple to use app for all your devices that encrypts all of your network traffic. Now, I'm a pretty private person. Y'all see me. I really just be here talking. I don't show a lot behind the scenes, but I like to safeguard what's important to me. And being a public figure, I can easily be a target to hackers or my family's information being harvested. These days, when the majority of what I do is online, connecting to Wi-Fi at different places, whether that's at coffee shops, hotels, or even at home, my information could be vulnerable to anyone connected to those same networks. That's why I use ExpressVPN to secure my information. But even if you're not a public figure, you still want to use ExpressVPN. Did you know that every website you visit, even when you use incognito mode, can still be seen by your network admin or even your internet provider? And what's worse is they're legally allowed to sell your browsing history to whoever they want. The simplicity of the app is key for me. I love how ExpressVPN is easy to use. You can download the app on your phone, computer, tap one button, and you're protected. And sometimes this stuff can sound a little confusing. I didn't even know what a VPN was at first, but there is 24/7 customer support. Live chat means your questions will be answered within seconds, not hours. So I want to hook you up. Find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com/HINDZ or clicking the link in the description box below. So like I was saying, I was in this weird liminal space. I knew, sports was no more. I kind of had no purpose, and I was kind of going down a spiral. And I was just questioning life. And, we find ourselves in these situations, in these transitions. You can call them a liminal space. You're not quite where you were, and you're not quite where you want to be, or you don't even know where you want to be. I had really no idea what I wanted to do. And there was so much pressure from like my counselors and other people saying, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do with your life? I'm like, I don't know. Let me just figure it out. Let me just take step by step. But the pressure was immense, and it left me with a little bit of anxiety. And because of that, I just, I kind of started to fall down a slippery slope. And then I started to get a little bit inspired by some of my friends. They were making music and stuff. And I was a little bit too shy to kind of just jump in and express with them, like they were all like rapping and producing. So I would just go to the studio and hang out with them and just study. One of my greatest gifts is observing. I didn't talk a lot growing up. And I always say, learn how to observe. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room. Be the strongest observer. You will learn a lot through your environment and surroundings. Trust me. You will learn more from just observing than you will from talking all the time. And I would just observe my friends in the studio. And what I was really doing was learning. I was studying them because I was like, maybe I can do this. And finally, one day I mustered up the courage to go home and, kind of try it out for myself. And I fell in love. The first time I made a beat, I just fell in love. And I was like, oh my God, I missed over here. Like I missed, I thought I was going to be an athlete, but no. Like I told myself I broke my hip for a reason. We do that, don't we? Like as soon as like it clicks, we're like, oh, it was all for a reason. Oh, glory to God. And I was just like, nah, like I was so happy I broke my leg because it allowed me to focus on something else. And I pivoted. One of my best abilities I realized was always having the ability to pivot. If something wasn't working out and feeling aligned, I'm not afraid to just go in a whole other direction. Sometimes we, invest so much energy into something, into someone, into a direction. So we feel like we are bonded to that thing for the rest of our life, because if we let go, then we feel like our time is wasted. But I believe every experience has something to offer us. And sometimes the thing that you went to school for 5 years and then you realize you hate it doesn't mean you got to stick with it. But guaranteed there's something within that 5 years that's actually a gem that you're going to take into your next experience that was necessary for you. And in life, sometimes we simply miss, Sometimes you don't make the shot. In basketball, because I used to play a lot of basketball, I used to notice the coach would do something interesting. When one of us would miss a shot, he would instantly start yelling, go, 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 go. Come on, keep it moving. Especially when you had a clear shot and a clear opportunity. Because when you miss a shot, what happens? We often put our head down. We slouch. We move slower. We question our worth, like, how did I just screw up? But in basketball, there's no time for that. By the time you look back up, the other team is already on the other side of the court making their shot. So you have to keep your head up. And that's what I realized in every season where I pivoted is keep your head up. We are gifted and guided in all that we do. And if something is falling or not working out anymore, my friend, you are simply entering into a crossroad, and those often can feel like great pain, but they often bring great change. I believe some of us have made some misses this year or last year or, just right now, or we stepped into the wrong relationships. We fell short on our own commitments and we allowed ourselves to convince ourselves that we're not good enough. And that's crazy, right? Like, I don't know why we do that, but we convince ourselves that we are not good enough. We will sit there and pick ourselves apart out of fear. But what I realize is it's kind of out of protection from feeling that bruise on our spirit again, protection from losing, protection from missing. So we hold ourselves back. Think about it like this. Like when you get a cut on your skin, what happens? Yeah, you have a cut, there's a little bruise, but the body is magical. It will heal. Even if you don't put a Band-Aid on, that wound will close back up. So if our flesh has the ability, understand, to heal, think of the possibilities our spirit has. It's so much stronger than the flesh. I always say I'm like 80%, 87% spirit, 30% flesh. Because I believe if we put more emphasis on our inner treasures and the spirit, and we live by that, then we are truly guided and righteous on our path. And then we know where our true strength comes from. And that directs and leads us in all that we do. Because The truth of the matter is, my friend, sometimes we miss, and it's okay. Sometimes we start YouTube channels, we post videos for a couple months, and then we fall off for another 6 months. That's okay. What did Bob Marley say? Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Because what I realized was, because I'd be very hard on myself. Let's be honest. Like, if y'all could see some of the conversations I have with myself, I'd be hard on myself. Most of the time, I'm like, you could be going harder. You could be doing more. You understand? Like, your videos could be better, and they can. And I just be tearing myself up. But we don't have to make every single shot. That's our ego. Our ego convinces us that we must make every shot, that everything we do must be a W, must be a win. You know, I remember I was watching Michael Jordan's documentary, and when I was growing up, Michael Jordan was my guy. I had a big poster of him in my room, arms spread out, and to me, Michael Jordan was just a pure winner. And when I watched his documentary, and there's a few times he like really lost, you know, like he really lost and embarrassed himself. And I'm like, even Michael Jordan misses. Even Beyonce has a bad show. But what do? They keep their head up and they go again. They try again. You understand? Because in every miss, there's something important. There's correction. There's an offering. There's a teaching. There's lessons. There's our ability to keep our head up in times of adversity. And that allows us to focus on solutions. Be an individual that focuses on the solutions and not the problems. Some people focus on problems, you understand? That's all. They become obsessed with problems and they cry about it. They have no gratitude through those problems. But there's always a solution to your problem. A problem is just a part of the equation. 1 + 1 = 2. A problem plus keeping your head up plus patience, prayer equals solutions. And that problem can really be a part of the pathway. You know, sometimes we think about all our missed shots, you know, everything we did wrong, and we just relay on those regrets. And that's kind of like just opening a wound back up after it's healed. What happens if you have a cut and you start to poke at it, you understand? And you don't give it the space it needs to heal. You just keep poking it, and playing with it, stretching it. The wound won't heal, you understand? You're making it impossible and you're delaying the whole process. And some of us do the same thing when things don't work out, you understand? We keep our head down. We question our worth when really we got to bring our head back up. Forgive ourselves, give ourselves the grace to move forward, because that forgiveness is key. And I don't know what it is or who it is, but one of us needs to let go, you understand? And forgive. Step back onto that pathway of grace. You know, the way we treat ourselves will reflect on the way we treat the world. You know, it grows, it manifests, and everything truly starts within. I believe we are living practices. Like how we love ourselves is how we love our neighbor. The same forgiveness we ask and seek is the same forgiveness we can show others. And that's why I always say that self-love is service. We learn to love ourselves so we can understand how to love others, truly love others. Move past their flaws and shortcomings, because we understand that we have our own flaws, shortcomings, and misses. And then we can journey in light. Because my friend, you are a light. On your path, you will inspire and illuminate the path for many. People will be inspired from you and they will learn from you, because we are all reflections of one another. Let it be like a few or millions, who cares? The numbers don't matter. Because today, my friend, today we have another shot. We all have another shot. And when I was on that field and I was meditating on my disappointment and my failure, when I was like, yo, my track career is over. And then I was looking around and meditating on everything right now. And I was like, I could have never have guessed this is where I would end up right now. When I destroyed myself on that field and it was over for me and I was questioning my worth and my direction, I could have never have guessed everything in my life, how it is right now. This is where I would be. It's just, we don't know the full plan yet. We just need the courage to take the step. You understand? I always say sometimes people, they're not judging your heart. They're just judging your first step. Sometimes we do the same thing for ourselves. We're judging our steps. We're judging where we are right now, not realizing that we are gifted and guided. There's so much for you in these seasons of uncertainty, and have the courage if you need to make that pivot. You know, I pivoted from athletics to making music. And then as soon as I realized I couldn't really make money off of music, I pivoted to like music videos. And then I got really good at that, got a certain level of notoriety. And then once I realized I didn't want to do that anymore, I went into, you know, more commercialized work. And then after I did that, I realized I wanted to do more marketing stuff. And then after that, I realized I wanted to do my own thing. And then every single thing I did throughout all those industries, I brought back to what I do now, and it gave me the foundation to move forward. And every missed shot was an offering, because those offerings had corrections, they had lessons, they had teachings. And I think if we have gratitude when we are in those seasons, have gratitude for the good times, because a bad time is about to come. Have gratitude for the bad times, because a good time is about to come. That is truly the answer. And I know it sounds cheesy, like have gratitude, but I don't think we actually realize the power of gratitude. Like when you truly have gratitude for anything that you are going through, when you can embody the message that we always relay, that whatever we are going through, we are growing through. Know that in this season, whatever you are going through, you are growing through. This is for you, you understand? This is carving you. This is cultivating you. This is giving you the edge that you need to step into that new position. You understand? All that we have sometimes is all that we need. I don't believe we will ever be put in a season where we can't succeed. And even if we miss, we receive the correction to step into that new position. And today, my friend, is another shot. We all have another shot. When we wake up, we have what? We have life, we have breath. And that is proof. That is proof that we have life. Sources like, guess what? I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care what happened 5 minutes ago. You still have life. So you have another shot. My motto is, I just will never give up. You know, I'll never give up on life, on doing my best. I may pivot. I may go into new industries and try new things and new adventures and avenues, but I will never give up. You understand? Hold on to that childlike spirit. Don't get too old and start to just be like, whoa, my time has passed me. No. Especially not in this generation where we have now. Do you see the opportunities? Like I see like people in their 50s and 60s, even 70s, like starting social media profiles and blowing up and having like new careers. And I'm like, that's right. I love it. You understand? I'm so excited for what I will be creating in my 50s, in my 60s. You understand? Like I have no idea what I'll be doing. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea what I will be doing. I could be designing homes. I could be designing like a high heel. Who knows? Something random, you know? We need to have that attitude. No matter how many times we miss, we have another shot because we still have life. You understand? It's like the ball gets passed to you and they're just like, here, shoot, take another shot. You understand? And know that you are gifted and guided, right? You're not doing this alone. In spirit, you have an all-star player and coach rooting for you, pulling strings for you behind the scenes. You ever had something happen in your life and you just don't know how everything came together? You just don't know how everything came together. If you look into nature, same thing. It's like everything's kind of has an inner workings to it and it just works for some reason. The same thing really does go for us. But we have to keep our head up, you understand? It's okay to feel all those emotions, the sad, the anger, the frustration, the loss. But who cares if you invested 3 years into that person and it didn't work out? Who cares? There's a new person out there for you. And right now it's time to cultivate the best you, because now you know your worth. Now you know what you deserve and what you don't want. You understand? Time is experience, and we all will go through many different experiences in this human experience. All the emotions, like no human escapes the emotion. That's the thing. That's what I love. Like we're all going to have like different classes. There's going to be rich people, poor people, middle class people, all that, there's different type of privileges. But the one thing that nobody gets to escape is fear, is frustration, is anger, is jealousy. We all experience joy, happiness, love, comfort. It's the equal thing that we all go through. And I love that. And it doesn't matter how much money you have or how much money you don't have. You understand? Even the poorest of poorest people experience love. Even the richest of richest people experience depression. You understand? So no matter what, remember, you can pivot. There's power in that pivot, in that crossover. You understand? There's many directions, there's many lanes for you. You just have to believe, apply your energy and your attention. Even if you're going in a whole new direction, you are gifted and guided. And that's the perspective shift we need today, because we live by spirit, not solely by ourselves. And you don't know, in hindsight, everything is going to be all right. We power by it's a vibe thing. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. The power of the pivot. Whew.